Good morning, how you all doing? Hope everybody is well. Beautiful, beautiful day down here, 11:30 in the morning, and it is like hot. It's like summertime hot out there. It's beautiful. So I can't wait to get out and into the garden and finish off that the parsnip bed. I've just uploaded yesterday or today's video, however you want to look at it. So that's done. I've also scheduled the BioLite Camp Stove 2 video to go out this evening, so it'll already be out in your world. Oh, so confusing. So many videos at the moment, like completely bombarding you all. Hopefully it's taking your mind off everything. That is the plan. Quick little job. I got that big 3-kilo bag of plain flour yesterday from Mole Valley Farmers. Mum doesn't need any flour. I've still got probably about that much in my big flour jar. So I could just stick this in the cupboard. Depending how long it was in the cupboard for though, it would likely get little bugs living in it. We don't really want bugs in our flour. So what I'm going to do is vacuum seal it. You can either get the bags on a roll like this, and you just cut off however much you need to create a bag, or you can get ready sealed bags that come with the machine. This is the last of the ready sealed bags actually. I prefer buying them like that. I think it's better value because you cut off exactly how much you need for the job at hand. And can I just say sorry, I've already had 2 coffees today and I feel like I'm talking at a million words a minute, so apologies about that. And the date on this, out of interest, this is fine until February 2021. This will extend that life, definitely. So the trickiest part is getting the bag into the bag. So you just wallop your bag of flour inside the plastic bag, making sure you've got about 1/2 inch to 1 inch at the top. This is a perfect fit. Then you open up your machine. This is all plugged in. Lay your bag down, and you've got heating element here and a rubber strip here. So you have to line your plastic up over that, clip the lid down, and then press vacuum seal, and it's going to suck all the air out of here. And then it automatically puts the sealing thing on, so it automatically melts that plastic shut. Ooh. And then a quick check when you bring it out. Sometimes you can hear a light hiss when you take it out, and it means that the seal hasn't actually sealed properly. And because that does sometimes happen, what I then like to do is just run it again with just the seal. So I'm not using the vacuum, I'm only using the seal, and that's just going to melt another strip to kind of like double protect the contents, if you like. And then, as you can see, that bag of flour is now rock hard. All of the air is completely sucked out of there. And if you can see, this is the first seal that we did. So this is when we did the vacuum out the air and then sealed the bag. And then the second line here, this is when we just sealed it again. So kind of a double whammy, this top one. A little bit unnecessary, but sometimes the seal does fail. But there we go. That is my vacuum sealed flour. That is now safe to chuck in the pantry for 1 to 2 years. No worries. All the talking. I'm really sorry. I'll try and calm down just a little bit. And just in case you're interested, this is the Andrew James vacuum sealer. You've got the vacuum seal option, the seal only option. So that's when I did that second strip. You've got a button on each end that you press both of them and that opens it. Inside the lid, this is the heating element here. And this is the rubber seal that it kind of touches against. And it's when those two things come together that this heating element seals and melts and seals the plastic. So I got this one. It wasn't hugely expensive. I can't off the top of my head remember how much it was. I've had it for a couple of years, but it was the one with the best reviews over on Amazon. So I'll drop a link to it down below if anyone wants to go and check it out. And that's it. Job done. So one of my friends, Emma, hi Emma, she's about to get some chickens by all accounts, and she was asking about their poo and what you can do with it and stuff. It's great, makes great fertilizer, but if you put this directly onto your flower beds or veggie plot or whatever, there's a chance that it's going to burn your plants because it's very strong poo. However, if you compost it down, it makes a killer in a good way. fertiliser or compost. And if you go to garden centres, you can see chicken manure pellets and stuff. That's just composted down chicken poo that's been pressed, weirdly, into a pellet. So yeah, absolutely, this stuff is gold, but don't use it as is. You do have to compost it down. Now, because in this bucket I've got the poo and I've got quite a lot of sawdust too, I mix that with all the mower clippings, so any green composty stuff. We mix the two together. You've probably seen me dump it in the chicken run. The chickens go in there, they scratch through it, there'll be bugs in there, there'll be tons of worms coming up from the dirt underneath. And over time, that will compost down into a beautiful, beautiful compost. Right, job's a good one. So 7 so far. When I'm cleaning out the chickens, if I find a little feather, nice, clean, pretty little feather, I take that in with the eggs and I stick it inside the box of eggs. So whoever gets given that box of eggs, I just think it makes it feel a bit more special. And isn't that just beautiful? So pretty. So next up on my list, there's my laptop to give you some scale, is a massive stock pot full of all the leaves and flowers from our little wild garlic forage yesterday. I didn't have the energy to sort these out yesterday, and if I'd left them in that little panda bag, they would have just wilted and possibly been useless today. So I just stuck them in this great big stock pot, filled them up with cold water and left them overnight, and they're absolutely fine. They're fresh as when they were picked, which is good. So I want to try making a soup today, a wild garlic soup, and normally I'd use potato in it to kind of give it body and creaminess, but because I want to eat low carb, I don't want to use potatoes. So I'm going to try using coconut milk instead, and give it a go. I probably won't nail the recipe the first time. Sometimes it takes 3 or sometimes even 4 times to get a recipe how I want it. So it's going to be a little bit of an experiment today, and it might all go horribly wrong. But that's how we write a recipe around here, trial and error. So I'm going to get these washed, get them drained, and then put some aside to remake the soup again tomorrow if I don't nail it, and then work out what I'm going to do with the leftover leaves, depending on how much is left. Right, I'm back in the veg garden, so I'm going to get this second parsnip row sorted out now. But you know what? I just want to go to sleep. I've just spoken to Mum on the phone. She said the same. It's a really sleepy kind of day, and if it wasn't for you guys keeping me on the straight and narrow, I would be sneaking a little power nap right about now. But I figured that won't be very interesting for you lot, so thanks. You're enough helping me get stuff done, I tell you. Oh, I definitely need an audio book to keep me company, so I'm going to switch you guys off and put my book on. Oh, Struth, right, I finished that row. Man, I am melting. It is baking hot out here. I think I probably need to go in now and have a little sit down and drink a lot of water. I've got very English pale skin and I haven't got any sunblock on. And this is probably a little bit silly because it's been winter and my skin has seen 0 sun for months. So yeah, I think I need to go and hide in some shade and drink some water. But those 2 or 1.5 beds are now ready to get parsnips and radishes in, so I might even not do that today. I might now roll that forward to tomorrow, but at least I know the weeding part is done and they are ready to rumble, so that's a good feeling. Hopefully I'll come back out later when I've cooled down a little bit. Somebody else is looking a bit hot too, huh? Oh, to be a black cat in this weather. I know, you hot. It's such a shame that Cornwall is shut for business because, my God, the little cafes, the campsites, the hotels, the restaurants, they would have done some roaring trade this week with this weather. Bloody shame. So, I made that lovely wild garlic soup. It is delicious. I'm very, very pleased with it. Before I publish it on the blog, oh my God, I'm making such a mess of this thing. Before I publish it on the blog, I need to test it again just to make sure that I've got all the quantities written down right. But I figured because it's going to look the same, even if I just tweak it a little bit, then I'm going to shoot it now, and then this part of the process will all be done. This is called efficiency. So, just going to set my little... The soup is cold now, by the way. Oh man, this is just... Every step of making this soup has been incredibly messy. So I think we're going to have to bring out the big guns for this. Now I'm not feeling particularly creative, so what I thought is I'd just plate it up and then I'd find props to put in amongst it, because right now I'm just a bit stuck as what to do. Because we're shooting something that's bright green, what I tend to do is try and find the opposite colour to shoot with it. So the only reason I picked these bowls is because of that orange trim. I don't have any orange or red bowls. It's not something that I particularly want to use when I shoot food, is red bowls. But that little bit of trim should hopefully offer enough contrast to this soup to make it really pop in colour. So that's called the colour wheel. It's a rough guide, I don't always use it. What I wouldn't do is put a green soup in a blue bowl, like no way. And I wouldn't put it in a green bowl, that just wouldn't work. But to find the opposite colour on the colour wheel, if you're stuck on a photo, that's often a really good place to start to get something that looks really striking. But that, no spills. So I'm going to start off really simply. When I'm a bit stuck creatively, like I am right now, I often just start. If you overthink stuff, I'm sure if anyone out there is a creative, you'll know what I mean. Sometimes you just need to start and the end product will just grow out of what you're doing. Yeah, no idea where this is going right now. Okay, this could take a long time because, like I say, I'm not in the zone right now. So I think I'm going to stick some telly on. I'm going to put you guys onto fast forward because, honestly, we could be here for some time. Can you just take a moment to appreciate how many damn teaspoons I have in my drawer? No idea why I have so many. And sometimes Johnny comes home at just the right moment to help me out. Don't you, darling? Hang on. Right, the food obviously is the important thing. Thank you. And then I just whiz through the pictures, just making sure I've got a good mix of portrait and landscape. That's nice. How to look like a total numpty. That's good, I can use those ones. Fabulous. Not sure that Johnny would enjoy this. He's not really that into soups. He did taste it for me at lunchtime and helped me get the seasoning right. When I haven't got a wild garlic taste in my mouth, I want to eat it for another meal, make sure I'm happy with the flavour. Then I'll probably remake this again tomorrow just to double check the recipe. And that's it, then I can get it up on the website. Yes! There we go, we've got another 8 egg day plus one of them is a monster egg again. Look at that. Gonna say goodnight, Sass. Well, it's good night from me. And it's good night from her. See you in the next one, guys. Take care.